Hey guys, this is Stephen Vitt again, welcoming you back to episode 20 of Bobcat Corner. And as you can see here on the screen, I'm sharing with you guys once again the official roster page of the Ohio Bobcats. And we are going to get started here in a minute, highlighting players, showcasing players that perform on the secondary defensive side of the ball. And specifically, I want to talk about both cornerbacks and safeties. And both those positions, they are important to the back end of the defense. Obviously, you're talking about the front seven, of course, with the defensive line and the linebackers. That's your first line of defense. But in case plays break down and you have to rely on defending passes, this is where you go to the secondary, both the cornerbacks and the safeties. Now, we're just going to get right to it. We're going to run down the list of players that are available on the 2024 roster for the Ohio Bobcats. Starting with here, cornerback Roman Parody. He is a redshirt senior, and you can check out his bio on the Ohio Bobcats website. Check out his stats. For 2023, last year, Roman Parody, he had 20 tackles, 11 of them solos, and 2 tackles for losses, 1 pass deflection, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. So he's had a good long career here in Athens, Ohio, and obviously he's expected to carry the back end of the defense again this year. So that's one player I wanted to highlight here for the secondary. Another one I wanted to go to is this guy right here, Tank Pearson. He is a senior cornerback. And last year, Tank Pearson, good first name, by the way. I like it when you name a player a Tank. In 2023, last year, he played in all 13 games, regular season games, while including the Myrtle Beach Bowl. And for defensive statistics, he had 16 total tackles, 8 of them solos, 1.5 tackles for losses, 2 interceptions, 3 pass deflections. Another guy who has had experience in the secondary. He's also expected to carry the back end of the defense, Tank Pearson. And let's just move right along here to another guy who we have acquired via transfer portal, and I'm going to find him on this roster real fast. Yeah, there he is, Mike Mack. He is a redshirt junior, formerly of both Wisconsin and Air Force. I can only get statistics from his days in Air Force. He did not play at Wisconsin. And Mike Mack, he has quite a bit of experience coming into Ohio. In both 2021, 2022 at Air Force, he had a combined total of 69 tackles, 43 of them being solo tackles, 4 pass deflections, and 1 interception. So obviously the expectation here with Mike Mack is that he's going to contribute in the secondary. I do believe this is a good pickup because you need depth in the secondary. And so when you go through this list here, Roman Parody, Tank Pearson, Mike Mack, redshirt freshman Kendall Bannister, freshman Tony Mathis, junior LJ Schumpert, cornerback redshirt freshman Creed Hill, and Xavier Williams, freshman. And now those are just the cornerbacks. As far as cornerbacks go, you need to have good protection on the sides of your defense, because this is where you're going to be challenged by the opposing wide receivers. And you got to have cornerbacks who can be able to lock down the opposing wide receivers. Uh, as a cornerback, you just got to keep the play ahead of you. Really, you just got to make sure the wide receiver doesn't beat you on plays, because wide receivers are always going to run certain routes. That's the name of the game for wide receivers. So they're going to try to beat the cornerbacks with the route running. So as a cornerback, you're going to try to shut that down. You have to keep the play in front of you. You have to keep your eyes on the football, and you got to make sure you know where the wide receiver is going, and also tight ends. And now scrolling down here on the page, we're going to go to the safeties. And we're going to start here with Austin Brawley. He is a junior. And the statistics that he's had, we're just going to go through last year. Played in 9 games, had 39 total tackles, 15 of them being solo tackles, half a tackle for loss, 2 interceptions, 4 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery. It's notable. It's definitely notable what Austin Brawley has done last year. And obviously the expectation is that he's going to contribute again in the backfield, defensive backfield. And obviously we have a wide range of guys who are just trying to get playing time. As I've noted before in countless other episodes, we have guys that are unproven, not yet proven, and they just want to get that experience on the field. These are the kinds of guys we get. And so moving right along here, Miles Fleming, redshirt senior. Miles Fleming. Here are the stats. What he had last year. Played in 12 games. And he's been around for some time, and obviously he's going to look to be getting playing time here this year for the Bobcats. And now we're just going to get to definitely one guy who's been featured, Jeremiah Wood, safety. He's had a long career with the Bobcats. He's been with us since 2018, as you can see here. Last year in 2023, Jeremiah Wood, he played in 10 games. He had 26 total tackles, 9 of them being solo tackles, 2.5 tackles for losses, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 5 pass deflections. So obviously when you look at a safety who needs needs help in the backfield, you look at Jeremiah Wood. You have Jeremiah Wood, but who else do you have going back there with him? You have a guy here in Jeremiah Wood who can get the job done. He can make plays. He can make good stops. He can just knock the football down any given time with the deep balls. And this is a reliable guy in the safety position. So definitely look at him carrying the secondary. Another one, junior, Adonis Williams Jr. Now you look at his stats from last year. He had 39 total tackles, 20 of them being solo tackles, 3.5 tackles for losses, 1.5 sacks, 1 interception, and 3 pass deflections. This is another guy that you have to look at, along with Jeremiah Wood, who can just carry the defensive backfield. And just going down this list here of safeties that we have on our roster, graduate student Dustin Johnson. He comes from Northern Colorado. Xander Karagosian. I hope I'm saying that last name right. I'm sorry if I'm not, but redshirt sophomore. Xander Karagosian. Safety, Bailey Russ, redshirt junior. DJ Walker, DJ Morton. Walker being a redshirt freshman, Morton being a freshman. Jalen Thomason, sophomore. Jalen Johnson, redshirt junior. JT Haskins, freshman. Andrew Vera, sophomore. And then Carson Canning, freshman. Those are the guys that we have on our roster for both cornerbacks and safeties. And if I can just highlight a little bit about the importance of the position of safety and the position of cornerback in summary, uh, especially if you have a situation where your front seven isn't as strong as it needs to be on any given game. You got to make sure that your secondary is going to be ready to go, because the opposing quarterback, he's going to be ready to throw the football all game long, and your secondary has to be ready. Has to be ready to knock the ball down, to get key interceptions, to make key tackles, so that wide receivers and tight ends don't break free. Um, as I mentioned before, as a cornerback or a safety, you got to keep the play in front of you. You got to keep the football ahead of you. Um, got to make sure you don't get beat on the deep routes. That's a key thing. You got to make sure that you keep your eyes on the guy that you're focused on. If you have an assignment to just keep your eyes on this wide receiver, like the X wide receiver, for example, I'm using terminology here. The X wide receiver, then keep your eye on him. Or if it's the Y wide receiver or the Z, whichever one it is, you got to make sure you keep your eyes on that guy. That's your job as a cornerback or safety. And really, when you can make key tackles, then go ahead and do it. That's great. And really, as a defensive secondary kind of player, you got to have speed. Uh, Speed helps. Whether on offense or defense, you got to have speed. You got to be able to have that mobility to make plays. You got to be at the right spot at the right time, making those plays. And every second matters. Every second matters on any given play. And really, that's the key of having a good secondary. Guys that can just get to the ball on time, ahead of time, and just make the play. Really, that's it. And I'm interested in knowing how well our secondary for the Ohio Bobcats, I'm interested in knowing how our secondary is going to be come regular season time, which is coming up very shortly here by the end of this week. Uh, Today is a Sunday, the 25th of August. The start of our season is right around the corner. It's starting on August 31st, which is this upcoming Saturday. And just want to let you guys know real fast that a preview uh, of the regular season, recap live stream that I'm planning on having here. That will be called Bobcat Corner Live. You can check it out like this Saturday night. I'm thinking at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hopefully that will be the correct time that I do that. So yeah, if you guys want to just hang out for me for like half an hour on Saturday night, that'd be great. And we'll just recap the game between Ohio and Syracuse. No matter what happens, win or lose, that's the case for every game. Win or lose, we're just going to recap the game. We're going to just go over it, review the stats for both teams, and whatever conversations that you guys want to have concerning the games, just let me know. And yeah, this has been Know the Bobcats. This series that I've started like some time ago, and I resumed it recently, and I'm glad I finished it in time. And yes, I will mention special teams at some point. I promise that will be during the regular season. But yeah, for the most part, Know the Bobcats is pretty much done for this year, and I'm glad. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day, and take care.